Namaskar. I am Dr. Swapna Pillai, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce here at BSS College. Today we are going to discuss Amalgamation Part 3. But before we start discussing today's module, let us have a quick recap of the earlier two modules which we have discussed. In Part 1, we have discussed about amalgamation, why amalgamation is created, the meaning of amalgamation. Then we have discussed about the purchasing company and the selling company, their role, what they do, and then we have discussed about the purchase consideration which the purchasing company pays to the selling company, and the 4 methods of purchase consideration. That was part of the module 1. In module 2, we have discussed about the journal entries in the books of the purchasing company and the journal entries in the books of the selling company. When we talk about the journal entries, we also have to talk about the balance sheet in the books of the purchasing company. So this was the 2 modules which we have discussed earlier. Based on these 2 modules, and especially the module 2, today we are going to discuss 2 questions which would very clearly make us understand how the journal entries are prepared from the question given and also how to prepare the balance sheet. In question number 1, we are going to discuss the journal entries in the books of purchasing company. When we talk about purchasing company, especially in case of amalgamation, there are 2 methods: amalgamation in the nature of merger, amalgamation in the nature of purchase. So both these methods would be discussed in our question number 1. What remains now is journal entries in the books of the selling company. We have discussed it earlier, and therefore we need to see the journal entries, how they are prepared in the books of the selling company. So question number 2 would explicitly discuss about the preparation of the journal entries in the books of selling companies. And then in continuation, we will also discuss the journal entries in the books of purchasing company, which would be a repeat of question number 1. So let us start with question number 1. On 1st April 2014, Alpha Limited acquired Beta Limited for a consideration of 19 lakhs to be discharged in the form of fully equity shares of rupees 10 each. The balance sheet of the 2 companies as at 31st March 2014 were as follows. Before we look at the balance sheet, let us try to understand the 2 companies which are given here. Alpha Limited is the purchasing company and Beta Limited is the selling company. As Alpha Limited has acquired Beta Limited, therefore Alpha Limited becomes the purchasing company and Beta Limited becomes the selling company. Another important point is the purchasing company is giving a consideration of rupees 19 lakhs to the selling company, which is to be paid in the form of equity shares of 10 each. So this 19 lakhs becomes the purchase consideration payable by the purchasing company to the selling company. Now let us look at the balance sheet figures. Balance sheet of both the companies are given together, that is Alpha Limited and Beta Limited. So let us read the balance sheet given. First, equity and liabilities. Under equity and liabilities, we have the shareholders' funds. Then comes the share capital. Equity shares, that is 20 lakhs in case of Alpha Limited, 12 lakh 50,000 in case of Beta Limited. Reserves and surplus. Under reserves and surplus, we have general reserve. General reserve is 7 lakh 50 of Alpha Limited and 1 lakh 50 of the Beta Limited. Next is the development rebate reserve. Development rebate reserve in case of Alpha Limited is 1 lakh 50,000 and in case of Beta Limited it is 50,000. Then is the export profit reserve. These are the 2 specific reserves. 3 lakhs for the Alpha Limited, 2 lakhs for the Beta Limited. Then statement of P&L, 6 lakhs of Alpha and 4 lakh 50,000 of the Beta Limited. Current liabilities, Sundry liabilities is 10 lakhs for Alpha Limited and 8 lakhs for the Beta Limited. And now the total of the liabilities for Alpha is 48 lakhs and 29 lakhs in case of the Beta Limited. Let us look at the assets. Assets, only we have non-current assets, that is sundry assets. Sundry assets total is 48 lakhs for Alpha and 29 lakhs for Beta. What we are required to do? You are required to pass journal entries in the books of Alpha Limited. Alpha Limited is the purchasing company limited. So when amalgamation is by way of merger and purchase. So we have to prepare journal entries in the nature of purchase, in the nature of merger in the books of Alpha Limited, that is a purchasing company. Also prepare the resultant balance sheet of Alpha Limited. So we have to prepare the balance sheet of Alpha Limited after amalgamation in the nature of purchase and merger has taken place, but both would be prepared separately. Assuming that export profit reserve is statutorily required to be continued. So this adjustments would be done separately. Let us look at the journal entries. First, we would look at the journal entries in the nature of merger. The format of journal entries we have discussed in detail in part 2. In case of merger, the journal entries in the books of the purchasing company is first business merger, 2 liquidators of Beta Limited. Now this amalgamation is in the nature of merger, therefore business merger account would be debited and this amount would be paid to the Beta Limited, which is a selling company. Therefore 2 liquidators of Beta Limited would be credited and the amount 19 lakhs is the purchase consideration amount which was given at the beginning of question. So the first journal entry is business merger account debit, 2 liquidators of Beta Limited, 19 lakh rupees debit and 19 lakh rupees credit, being purchase consideration payable. The second journal entry is the taking over of assets and liabilities of the selling company by the purchasing company. So let us look at journal entry number 2, sundry assets account debit, which is an amount of 29 lakhs. Then comes general reserve account. This would be a balancing figure. If assets are more and liabilities are less, the balancing would come in the liability side. Here assets are less, therefore the balancing figure would come in the asset side, and therefore this amount, this general reserve account, which is a balancing figure of the journal entry. So general reserve account, which would be the balancing figure. Then the development rebate reserve account of 50,000. So this is taking over of the liabilities of the selling company by the purchasing company. In case of merger, all the assets and liabilities are taken over by the purchasing company. So development rebate reserve 50,000, export profit reserve 2 lakhs, general reserve account 1 lakh 50, sundry liabilities 8 lakhs, the statement of P&L 4 lakh 50, the to business merger account 19 lakhs. So the total here of the liabilities is more than the total of the assets. Therefore this balancing figure, general reserve of 6 lakh 50,000, would come in the debit side by the name of general reserve. So if there is a deficit in the liabilities, general reserve would come in the credit side. This is journal entry number 2. So balancing figure, general reserve amount is 6 lakh 50,000. Now let us look at the balance sheet in the books of the Alpha Limited as a result of amalgamation in the nature of merger. So the balance sheet, first point is equity and liabilities. Under equity and liabilities comes the shareholders funds, and under shareholders funds comes the share capital. So we have 3,90,000 equity shares of 10 each, which makes it 39 lakhs. Second liability is reserve and surplus. Under reserve and surplus, we have the first liability, that is the general reserve. General reserve, 9 lakh was already there in the books of the purchasing company, and 6 lakh 50 was a deficit which we have got as balancing figure in journal entry number 2. So now the general reserve would be reduced by 6 lakh 50, and now the balance would be 2 lakh 50 appearing in the balance sheet of the purchasing company. Second is development rebate reserve. Development rebate reserve would be a total of both the companies, that is 2 lakhs. Export profit reserve would again be a total of both the companies, the total is 5 lakhs. Statement of P&L, the amount would be 10 lakh 50,000. Current liabilities, under current liabilities we have sundry liabilities. Sundry liabilities would be an amount of 18 lakhs and the total of liabilities would be 77 lakhs. As far as assets is concerned, no major assets is given except one, that is non-current assets, sundry assets, and the total of sundry assets is 77 lakhs and therefore 77 lakhs in the assets and 77 lakhs in the balance sheet. This is how the adjustment in the balance sheet of purchasing company is done when we talk about amalgamation in the nature of merger. Number 2 is the amalgamation in the nature of purchase. So here again we have to see what difference is there in the journal entries when the amalgamation is in the nature of purchase. So the first journal entry would be business purchase account debit to liquidators of Beta Limited account. There we have written business merger. Here we will write business purchase. The amount of 19 lakhs would remain same as this is the purchase consideration paid by the purchasing company, that is Alpha Limited to Beta Limited. Next is journal entry number 2. When we talk of purchase, in case of purchase, the purchasing company makes selective purchase. It does not purchase the entire assets and liabilities. Therefore, here in journal entry number 2, we would find some of the liabilities, especially under reserves and surplus, which is not taken over, but for that a special adjustment account is done in the books of Alpha Limited. So, journal entry number 2 is sundry assets account debit 29 lakhs to the business purchase, that is the 19 lakhs purchase consideration given, to sundry liabilities account, that is 8 lakhs, and therefore the balance comes here in the liability side as capital reserve. So this capital reserve is the balancing figure because assets is more, the debit side is more and the credit side is less, and the balancing figure amount is 2 lakh. The balancing figure is 2 lakhs and the name is capital reserve. Journal entry number 3 is liquidators of Beta Limited account debit to equity share capital. So this is how the liquidators would be paid. Liquidators would be paid by equity share of 10 rupees each, that is 19 lakh rupees. So journal entry number 3 is liquidators of Beta Limited account debit to equity share capital. This is the mode of payment. So these are the 3 entries which is done in amalgamation in the nature of purchase. Let us see the resultant balance sheet. In the case of amalgamation in the nature of purchase, all the reserves are not taken over by the purchasing company. For that, a special adjustment account is made, and therefore journal entry number 4, in case of the purchasing company here, in the nature of amalgamation by purchase would be amalgamation adjustment account debit to statutory reserve. The amount is 2,50,000. In this amalgamation adjustment amount, the export profit reserve and development rebate reserve of Beta Limited has been transferred, and it has been transferred to another account which is called as amalgamation adjustment account, and this account would appear separately in the liability side of the purchasing company. Now let us look at the balance sheet. The resultant balance sheet would show number 1, equity and liabilities. Under equity and liabilities is a shareholders funds. Under shareholders funds is a share capital. So share capital is 3,90,000 equity shares of 10 each, that is 39 lakhs. Number 2 liability is reserves and surplus. So under reserve and surplus is general reserve, that is 7,50,000. Capital reserve, this capital reserve of 2 lakhs is a balancing figure as a result of journal entry number 2. Then we have the third one, development rebate reserve of both the companies Alpha and Beta totaled up as 2 lakhs. Export profit reserve of both the companies as total as 5 lakhs. Statement of P&L 6 lakhs. There is another adjustment here as a result of amalgamation in the nature of purchase, that is journal entry number 4. So the adjustment is amalgamation adjustment. This is an amount of 2,50,000. This 2,50,000 is export reserve and development reserve of Beta Limited, which is transferred to amalgamation adjustment. So this special adjustment would be shown whenever amalgamation is done in the nature of purchase. Then comes current liabilities. Current liabilities, under current liabilities is sundry liabilities, the total of which is 18 lakhs, and therefore the total of liabilities now appears as 77 lakhs. And next is the assets. Under assets we have non-current assets. Under non-current assets we have sundry assets without any adjustment, and the total is 77 lakhs. So the asset side totals 77 lakhs, and therefore the balance sheet of the Alpha Limited is complete with this total of 77 lakhs. Now the question number 2 would specifically focus on journal entries in the books of the selling company, which is the Beta Limited. But before looking at the journal entries, let us have a quick look at the question. The question is, the following is the balance sheet of Aakash Limited as at 31st March 2014. Number 1, equity and liabilities. Shareholders funds. Under shareholders funds, share capital. Share capital 2 lakh shares of 10 each, that is 20 lakhs. Reserve and surplus. Under reserve and surplus we have general reserve 2 lakh 20. Statement of P&L 1 lakh 40. Then we have workman's accident compensation reserve of 1 lakh. Then next is current liabilities. Under current liabilities we have trade payables amounting to rupees 3 lakh 20,000. So the liabilities total is 27 lakhs 80,000. Next is the assets. Under assets we have non-current assets. Under non-current assets we have fixed assets. Under fixed assets we have tangible assets. Under tangible assets we have land and building worth 4 lakh rupees. Plant and machinery worth 8 lakhs 80,000 rupees. Next is intangible assets. Under intangible assets we have patents amounting to rupees 30,000. Then trademark again amounting to rupees 30,000. Next is goodwill amounting to rupees 3 lakh 80,000. Next is current assets. Under current assets we have inventories amounting to rupees 4 lakh 20,000 rupees. Next is trade receivables with an adjustment for provision for bad and doubtful debts of 24,000, and the resultant amount is 3 lakhs 36,000. And the next is cash and cash equivalent, that is amounting to 2 lakh 64,000 rupees. And there is one more asset, that is other current assets, that is unamortized preliminary expenses of 40,000, and this makes the assets total as 27 lakhs 80,000. Now let us read what the question is asking us to do. The second balance sheet is of Rahul Limited, and the balance sheet of Rahul Limited is as follows: equity and liabilities, shareholders funds, share capital 4 lakh shares of 10 each, that is 40 lakhs, reserve and surplus, then general reserve of 4 lakhs, statement of P&L of 2 lakh rupees. Non-current liabilities, 10% debentures is 7 lakh rupees. Next liability is current liability. Under current liability we have trade payables of 4 lakh 20,000 rupees. The total of the liabilities is 57 lakhs 20,000. The assets, under assets we have non-current assets, then fixed assets. Under fixed assets we have tangible assets. Tangible assets we have land and building worth 12 lakh rupees, plant and machinery 16 lakh rupees. Then intangible assets we have goodwill worth 4 lakh 40,000 rupees. Then we have current assets. In the current assets we have inventories of 10 lakh rupees. We have trade receivables 6 lakhs. We have cash and cash equivalent as 8 lakh 80,000 rupees, and the total is 57 lakhs 20,000 rupees. Aakash Limited purchased by Rahul Limited, which pays 24 lakh rupees in fully paid equity shares of 10 each, and the balance of 4 lakh in cash. So here 24 lakhs is the purchase consideration, 20 lakhs is equity shares, 4 lakh is cash. Aakash Limited is purchased by Rahul Limited. So Aakash Limited is the selling company and Rahul Limited is the purchasing company. We will prepare journal entries in the books of Aakash Limited being the selling company, and then we will do a repeat of the journal entries in the books of the Rahul Limited, who is the purchasing company, as we have just discussed in question number 1. There was a contingent liability in respect of a claim for compensation under Workmen's Compensation Act. The claim was not taken by Rahul Limited and Aakash Limited had to pay ultimately a sum of rupees 40,000 against the claim. The expenses of liquidation of Aakash Limited is 20,000. So these two are the extra adjustments which are given in the question, which we have to do accordingly. You are required to pass the necessary journal entries in the books of Aakash Limited and Rahul Limited and prepare balance sheet after amalgamation in the nature of purchase. So let us now look at the journal entries in the books of selling company, which is the Aakash Limited. First journal entry is a realization account debit to land and building, to plant and machinery, to patents, to trademarks, to inventories, to trade receivables, to goodwill, to cash and cash equivalent. All the assets would be transferred to the realization account, and therefore the realization account total is 27,64,000. To land and building 4 lakhs, to plant and machinery 8,80,000, to patent 30,000, to trademarks 30,000, to inventories 4,20,000, to trade receivables 3,60,000. To goodwill 3,80,000, to cash and cash equivalent 2,64,000. So all these assets would be transferred to realization account, and the realization account total stands now at 27,64,000. Similarly, the liabilities also would be transferred to realization account. So journal entry number 2 is trade payables account debit 3,20,000, provision for bad debts account debit 24,000 to realization. The total is 3,44,000. Then journal entry number 3 is a Rahul Limited account debit to realization. This is the amount which is receivable from Rahul Limited, 28 lakhs. This is the purchase consideration which would be given by the purchasing company to the selling company. How this would be given? 24 lakhs by way of equity, 4 lakhs by way of cash. This is what the next journal entry says. Next journal entry is equity shares in Rahul Limited account debit 24 lakhs, cash and cash equivalents account debit 4 lakhs to Rahul Limited account 28 lakhs. This is the purchase consideration of 28 lakhs. Next is realization account debit to bank. This is the expenses of liquidation paid 20,000 as given in the adjustments. Next journal entry is realization account debit to equity shareholders 3,60,000. This is the transfer of profit on realization to shareholders account. After transferring the assets and liabilities and other expenses, realization account has to be prepared and profit and loss has to be found out. In this case, there was a profit and therefore the profit journal entry is realization account debit to equity shareholders, a profit of 3,60,000. Next adjustment was workman's accident compensation reserve account 40,000 to bank. This is a claim of compensation of accident paid. Since it is paid, bank account is credit. Next journal entry is equity share capital account debit 20 lakhs, general reserve account debit 2,20,000, workman's accident compensation reserve account debit, statement of P&L account debit 1,40,000 to equity shareholders account 24,20,000. This is the balance of above accounts transferred to shareholders account. The next journal entry is equity shareholders account debit to preliminary expenses account. This preliminary expenses was appearing in the asset side. This also has to be transferred to the equity shareholders. Amount is 40,000. Balance of preliminary expenses account transferred to equity shareholders. Next journal entry is equity shareholders account debit 27,40,000 to equity shares in Rahul Limited account 24 lakhs to bank 3,40,000. This is a final payment which is made to the shareholders. These was the journal entries in the books of Aakash Limited, that is the selling company. Let us look at the journal entries in the books of Rahul Limited, that is the purchasing company. Now this amalgamation is in the nature of purchase. So the journal entry number 1 would be business purchase account debit to liquidators of Aakash Limited 28 lakhs. Journal entry number 2, land and building debit 4 lakhs, plant and machinery debit 8,80,000, patent account debit 30,000, trademarks account debit 30,000, inventories account debit 4,20,000, trade receivables debit 3,60,000, cash and cash equivalents 2,64,000, goodwill debit 3,80,000. Another goodwill, this goodwill is a balancing figure because the credit side is more than the debit side, and the goodwill balancing figure amount is 3,80,000. To trade payables 3,20,000, to provision for bad and doubtful debts 24,000, to business purchase 28 lakhs. So these are various assets and liabilities which are taken over, and the balancing figure which is debited to goodwill account. Journal entry number 3, liquidators of Aakash Limited account debit 28 lakhs to equity share capital 24 lakhs to bank 4 lakhs. This is the mode of payment of purchase consideration. 24 lakhs by way of equity capital and 4 lakhs by way of cash. Let us have a look at the balance sheet in the books of Rahul Limited. Equity and liabilities. Under equity and liabilities, we have shareholders funds. Under shareholders funds, we have share capital 6,40,000 equity shares of 10 each, that is 64 lakhs. Reserve and surplus. General reserve of 4 lakhs. Statement of P&L 2 lakhs. Non-current liabilities 10% debenture 7 lakhs. Current liabilities, we have trade payables of 7,40,000. So the total is 84,40,000. In assets, we have non-current assets, fixed assets. Under fixed assets, we have tangible assets. Tangible assets, land and building is of 16 lakh rupees. Plant and machinery is of 24,80,000 rupees. Next is intangible assets. Under intangible assets, we have patents of 30,000 rupees, trademarks of 30,000 rupees. Now goodwill we have 3,80,000 plus 3,80,000 the balancing figure and 4,40,000, and the total of goodwill is 12 lakhs. Current assets, inventories, we have 14,20,000 rupees. Trade receivables, we have 9,60,000. And from that, we have to deduct provision for bad and doubtful debts of 24,000, and the trade receivables would be reduced to 9,36,000. And the last is cash and cash equivalent of 7,44,000, and the total of assets is 84,40,000. So this was the balance sheet of the purchasing company when amalgamation was in the nature of purchase. So today we have discussed 2 questions. In question number 1, we have discussed amalgamation in the nature of purchase and merger in the books of the purchasing company. In question number 2, we have discussed amalgamation in the books of the selling company. We have discussed the journal entries in the books of the selling company, and we have discussed journal entries in the books of the purchasing company and the resultant balance sheet. So this was all about amalgamation. In our next module, we would be talking about another topic, that is reconstruction of companies. Thank you.